If you've been following the Ravens lately, you already know this offseason has been anything but ordinary. Walking into the events welcoming former Ravens players, you could feel the energy in the air. There's this unique mix of nostalgia and anticipation when legends of the franchise gather in the same room. I was struck by how much everyone has evolved, seeing teammates you played alongside years ago, and then noticing players who shaped the team before your time. It really hits home just how deep this organization's roots run. The conversations range from reminiscing about past games to sharing insights on coaching, life after the NFL, and what it takes to guide the next generation. One striking moment was seeing Ray Rice talk to Terrence West about coaching youth football and high school teams. It's fascinating to see these former pros taking their experience and translating it into mentorship, teaching younger athletes not only about the game but also about leadership and discipline. Torrey Smith's work with his foundation shows another layer of commitment, with players now entering college programs and preparing for the professional stage. It's one thing to watch these athletes dominate on Sundays, but it's another entirely to see them invest in shaping future talent. And that's the kind of legacy that speaks volumes about the Ravens culture. The seating arrangement at the event also made for an interesting dynamic. Former legends were positioned in the second and third rows, just behind the active players, creating this subtle sense of continuity between past and present. You could see the difference it made. Tuba Shad was sitting in the front row for the first time. A big change from his usual spot on the podium. His energy was relaxed, almost as if he was simply enjoying the moment rather than being weighed down by expectation. That kind of mindset was something I noticed carry through the press conference, especially when he addressed John Harbaugh's departure. The sentiment was clear. This is not about emulating other high-profile owners or trying to force outcomes. Instead, it's about enjoying the process, focusing on the present, and building something sustainable. It's refreshing to see that perspective, especially after a decade where we've watched the Ravens navigate highs and lows, sometimes with decisions that left fans divided. There's a sense of optimism now, rooted in thoughtful planning rather than reactionary moves. One of the biggest talking points coming out of the press conference was the staffing strategy Jesse Mentor is putting in place. Early reports indicate a targeted approach in assembling his coaching team, including reaching out to high-level candidates like Jim Leonhard. Leonard's journey is impressive. He's widely regarded as one of the top young defensive minds in the league, with experience as a defensive coordinator at both the collegiate and professional levels. The Ravens reaching out to him signals a strong commitment to not only experience, but also innovation. Leonard's background is particularly intriguing because of the way he approaches defensive schematics. When he was in Baltimore before, his instincts on the field were remarkable, often anticipating breakdowns and positioning players perfectly to turn situations around. His track record in Wisconsin and beyond demonstrates that he's not just a coach following tradition, but someone willing to analyze, adapt, and elevate the players around him. If Mentor secures him for the defensive coordinator role, it could mark a significant step forward for the Ravens' defense. Continuity on staff is just as important as innovation, though, and that's where Randy Brown's decision to stay in Baltimore becomes crucial. Brown has overseen special teams since John Harbaugh's first season and has been instrumental in developing consistency in that unit. His work with kickers, punters, and long snappers has shaped a reliable framework that allows young players to thrive. The mentoring of Tyler Luke, for instance, shows how patience and structured guidance can elevate a player's performance over time. While there are ups and downs in any athlete's journey, having someone like Brown ensures that the learning curve doesn't come at the cost of team stability. That kind of experience, combined with fresh coaching perspectives, gives the Ravens a balanced approach heading into the season. Watching the interplay between seasoned veterans and emerging talent is fascinating, especially knowing that decisions made this offseason could define the trajectory of the team for years to come. Mentor's statements during the press conference also highlighted a clear philosophy: building standards that align with long-term goals and focusing on peak performance when it matters most. This approach addresses a concern fans often have: maximizing playoff success and ensuring the team shows up in the biggest moments. The emphasis on players believing in their coaches and the overall system is notable because it signals a player-first mentality without sacrificing structure or discipline. Mentor is prioritizing leaders who can connect with their squads, cultivate trust, and inspire the best effort on every down. That approach is reflected not just in hiring decisions, but in the entire vision. he's articulating for the Ravens. Gone are the days of ambiguous messaging. Now there's a precise standard, a clear expectation, and a roadmap to achieve it. The accountability factor is evident, and the alignment between mentor and the front office appears strong, which is critical for implementing any successful plan in professional sports. Offensive and defensive coordinator searches are also moving forward at a deliberate pace, with mentor emphasizing not only technical expertise but also leadership qualities and relationship building. He's seeking coaches who will earn respect from players, foster collaboration, and execute strategies effectively, both on the field and behind the scenes. This methodical approach shows a recognition that success in the NFL isn't just about X and O's, it's about chemistry, trust, and communication. From prior experience, we've seen how teams with solid coordination between staff and players excel, and mentor seems committed to replicating that dynamic while infusing new energy and perspectives. The Ravens are setting up a structure that values preparation, adaptability, and proactive problem solving. And early indicators suggest that the team culture will reflect those priorities throughout the organization. Another layer to consider is the legacy of past coaching decisions and how they inform present strategies. Mentor's emphasis on thoughtful, intentional choices suggests a learning curve from previous eras, balancing tradition with innovation. Coaches like Leonard, with deep experience in film study and situational adjustments, embody this philosophy. It's not just about having a strong roster. It's about optimizing performance through insight, preparation, and careful orchestration. Similarly, maintaining staff like Randy Brown ensures that institutional knowledge isn't lost, allowing young players to benefit from years of accumulated wisdom. This blend of new and established voices gives the Ravens a competitive edge, allowing for creativity without sacrificing the fundamentals that have defined the franchise's success over the years. Finally, the cultural impact of mentor's approach cannot be understated. His focus on standards, player development, and strategic hiring demonstrates a long-term vision, one designed to produce consistent performance in critical moments. There's a sense of intentionality in everything from staff selection to messaging, which fans can already feel in how the organization is presenting itself. The synergy between front office leadership and coaching staff will be pivotal, especially in navigating the challenges of drafting, free agency, and in-season adjustments. If executed effectively, this could set a precedent for how the Ravens approach not just the upcoming season but the years that follow, creating a framework for sustainable excellence while embracing the dynamic nature of the NFL landscape. Heading into this offseason, the Ravens are doing more than just rearranging staff. They're redefining their identity in a way that feels intentional and forward-thinking. Every decision mentor makes, from interviews to hires, communicates a clear message. Accountability matters, preparation matters, and every player and coach must buy into the vision. This is not a superficial reshuffling. It's a deliberate effort to ensure that the team shows up where it counts. Even casual observers can notice the difference in tone from previous years. Whereas past regimes sometimes relied on legacy decisions or reactionary moves, this feels proactive, with every hire, every discussion, and every internal adjustment aligned toward a singular goal: performing at the highest level in the playoffs and creating a sustainable system of success. The interest in Jim Leonard for the defensive coordinator position highlights this philosophy perfectly. Leonard brings both technical skill and the ability to connect with players in a meaningful way. His analytical mind is complemented by a clear understanding of leadership, which is crucial in a league where talent alone doesn't guarantee victories. What makes him particularly intriguing is his track record of improving units quickly by identifying weaknesses and making adjustments that put players in positions to succeed. Players respect coaches who can combine strategy with real-time problem solving, and Leonard has proven he can do both. This balance of intellectual approach and personal connection is something mentor seems to value deeply, and it's part of a larger trend where coaching hires are evaluated not just for X and O's, but for cultural fit and influence on the locker room. Meanwhile, continuity in the special teams department ensures the foundation of the team remains stable. Randy Brown's decision to stay is far from trivial. His impact extends beyond kicking and punting. He shapes the mindset and confidence of players entering high-pressure situations. Watching a kicker or punter develop under his guidance is like seeing a blueprint come to life. Technique, timing, and mental preparation are all refined under his supervision. The young talent emerging in these roles will now benefit from the consistency Brown provides. giving the team an edge in scenarios where games can be won or lost on single plays. The combination of seasoned guidance and new, innovative ideas elsewhere on the staff is precisely what the Ravens need to maintain competitiveness while fostering growth and adaptability. Mentor's vision also extends into how players will be evaluated and utilized throughout the season. He's made it clear that every individual must maximize their potential, and he is assembling a coaching team that understands how to unlock that potential. Leaders on both sides of the ball will be expected to instill confidence in players, create clarity in their responsibilities, and provide a framework that encourages accountability without suffocating creativity. The standards he is setting are ambitious, but they are communicated in a way that players can embrace rather than fear. That approach is a marked departure from previous seasons, where unclear expectations sometimes led to inconsistency in performance. Now, there's a transparent pathway for excellence that everyone can rally round. Offensive coordination is another area where Mentor's methodical approach becomes evident. The search is ongoing, but his criteria are precise. He wants someone who is not only a schematic expert, but also a communicator and a motivator. The idea is that the coordinator must build relationships with players, earn their trust, and translate complex strategies into actionable plays they can execute under pressure. This balance between strategy and connection is a theme throughout Mentor's leadership philosophy. He recognizes that success on the field starts with trust and understanding in the locker room. Players must believe in the system, their coaches, and themselves. And Mentor is creating an environment that fosters that belief through careful hiring and clear communication. The Ravens' approach to leadership also underscores a shift in accountability, with John Harbaugh no longer in the picture. The shield protecting certain decisions has been removed. Now, every hire, every call, and every adjustment is under the microscope, not in a punitive sense, but as a natural consequence of intentional management. Mentor's willingness to take responsibility while aligning closely with the front office shows a level of maturity and foresight that is essential for guiding a team with Super Bowl aspiration. Eric DCA's partnership in this process reinforces the balance between strategic oversight and operational execution, ensuring that decisions are cohesive and aligned across all aspects of team management. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Your support keeps us bringing you the latest news on the Baltimore Ravens. And hey, drop your take in the comments below. We want to hear from the flock. Whispers are growing around the league that the Baltimore Ravens may be on the verge of pulling off a move capable of reshaping their defensive identity. The name circulating in NFL circles is HAASON Reddick, a pass rusher whose explosive style seems tailor-made for a defense that thrives on pressure, versatility, and intimidation. While nothing has been made official, the mere possibility of Reddick landing in Baltimore has sparked intense debate among analysts and fans alike. The Ravens have long been known for building dominant defenses, and the idea of inserting Reddick into their front immediately fuels speculation about an even more aggressive unit. His reputation as a relentless edge presence suggests an instant upgrade to the defensive line, not only in terms of sacks, but also in how opposing offenses would be forced to adjust protection schemes. Even as a rumor, the potential fit feels natural. A player in his prime, hungry to prove his value, joining a system that historically amplifies defensive talent. Sources close to the situation hint that Baltimore's interest would go beyond raw numbers. Reddick's speed off the edge and ability to disrupt plays before they fully develop could free up linebackers and create favorable matchups across the front seven. In a defense already built on confusion and pressure, his arrival could tilt the balance in critical moments, turning near stops into drive-ending plays. There is also the psychological impact to consider. Adding a high-profile defender sends a message to the rest of the conference that the Ravens are not content with standing pat. Even the rumor alone plants seeds of doubt in the minds of opponents preparing to face Baltimore, forcing them to imagine game plans that account for Reddick's presence screaming off the edge until clarity emerges. The speculation will continue to grow, whether this remains a rumor or evolves into reality. One thing is clear: the idea of HAASON Reddick reinforcing the Ravens' defensive line is powerful enough to dominate conversations, hinting at a defense that could once again define Baltimore football. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay in the loop with exclusive news on our Baltimore Ravens, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. We'd love to hear what the flock thinks. Drop your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next one.